Welcome back, everybody. Carolina Keith, regular Keith, extremely trimmed beard Keith. Why did I do that? Well, guess what, folks? Sorry, it was time to take profits. And on that note, something I got to do in the background. We've had a pretty darn good run with all of our green behind us, yeah? Well, guess what, folks? The time has come to turn it red. Oh boy, did the charts ever roll over? They've turned red. We're going to talk about it right now. Welcome, everybody, to Crypto After Dark. If you haven't done so, please go hit the like button. It's free here, costs nothing. We crossed 10,000 subscribers last live stream. I got a little emotional. Go hit subscribe while you're there. Click the little notification bell. I don't know. I have a bell. Ready? There you go. Click the little bell. So stupid. If you haven't been here before, we keep it real 100% on this stream. No BS. There's no time for BS in the real world where we live. All right. Interesting things happened over the last couple days here. I want to talk about the weekly charts first. We're going to start with total market cap, which was the thumbnail. I took a bunch of profits recently. How much? Hang on. It was as of before today. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. About $90,000 worth of, well, maybe $85,000 worth of profit. Oof, right? Well, welcome to the real world. I think it's around 73,000 before I started taking profits today. Why do I tell everyone that? Well, welcome to the real world where Keith keeps it real with you and doesn't have any time for horse shit. I don't like lies. I don't like sketchiness. I don't like to keep anything from y'all. I like to keep it real. Yes, we have a paywall. Yes, we have a paid group. That eliminates the idiots and the degenerates from our group. That's the reason we do that. It keeps you level-headed for a couple bucks a month. It shows you that you're a little bit more committed than everyone else. All right? That's why we do it. It's important to us. It'll never be expensive. It'll always be cheap. Just a little something to keep everyone honest, right? So let's start with total market cap first. And I want to say hey to everyone. 51 people already on. That's awesome. Go hit like. It's free. 22 likes. We can do better than that. Go hit like, everybody. So as you see, I've got total market cap laid out in front of us right here. All right. I wanted to start with total market cap on purpose because it kind of shows the bigger picture as it's combining every asset, right? But it's important to note that largely this is driven by Bitcoin, right? Everything follows the king. I've saw a lot of chatter and a lot of, for what it's worth, horse shit about alt season. I'm sorry, folks. It is not alt season. I need you to grow up. While you would like it to be alt season, it's not. It's just not. That doesn't happen until Bitcoin and Ethereum make their run. Does it look like Bitcoin and Ethereum have made their run? The answer is no. If you're not in log mode, you should be because you're probably in linear mode thinking that it's made this big run, and it hasn't. All right. So I'm in log mode down in the corner here, as you see. It's total market cap. I have the green box highlighted because that's the golden pocket. The golden pocket is typically the place where charts retrace to overall, even on a low time frame. If you're looking at a 5-minute chart and you're saying this thing's going to retrace, how far will it go? Probably the golden pocket overall. All right. Now, I highlighted that because I was thinking that likely Bitcoin goes to the golden pocket when ETFs get approved. Why do I say that? Well, it all makes sense because that's a very historically normal level for Bitcoin to retrace to, the golden pocket. Total market cap is actually a little behind Bitcoin, and you'll see that in a moment. But let's start with this really, really, really ugly weekly candle that it threw at the end of the week on Sunday. Look at that. While you would say, oh, it's still green. No, this shows a ton of sell pressure on the top of a long run up. This run started all the way back in November of 22, lasted damn near a full year, actually over a full year, with a bit of a slowdown in between, yeah. But after that run, everything slowed down a little bit. And I'm sorry, that sucks, but that's the way it is. I know this may feel like this was the quote-unquote bull run. It's not. This was the pre-bull run. Now what we're going to get is a bit of a pullback going into the actual bull run, okay? It's going to take a little bit to work its way out. It's going to take a little bit to smooth itself through. We're going to walk everybody through it. Since we hit this golden pocket and pulled back, that was a range stop. What do I mean by a range stop? Well, the previous range that we were in was the 50 Fibonacci line, which is right here about 1.48 trillion. 1.48 trillion. Good gracious. That range stops at 1.75 trillion. So obviously you can get it. There's about $250 billion worth of movement in here from 1.5 to 1.75 trillion. All right. So that was our range. We hit the top of the range and we did not hold it or break through it. We touched it and started to fail. So where's the next logical place that we go? Back to the bottom of that range at 1.5 trillion. That is the next logical area for us to retrace to. That's my next lowest target, 1.5 trillion. I do think there's a possibility that we go below that down to the lower range, which is between 1.5 trillion and 1.25 trillion. That's another $250 billion down. That's half a billy. Oh, that's half a trilly. Not half a billy, half a trilly. That would roll over and come back down here. There's a possibility that happens, but first I'd like to see this range, right at the 50 fib, show some strength and see what happens there before we have any panic moments or freak out moments. I took profits because I saw this really gnarly wick forming way back on Sunday, and I said, damn, dude, you know what? I think it's time to start thinking about selling a little bit. Someone had already brought it up in our Discord, which is amazing. And if you haven't seen our Discord, right here at the bottom, right down here underneath where my cursor is wap.com/team786. Very important because this information was there first. It was there first, right? Someone mentioned, hey, man, I think I'm going to take some profits. I said, you know what? I'm going to look into this. I'm going to give it till Sunday. If this thing doesn't edge out and start its way back up, man, I'm going to have to look at taking some profits here. And that's exactly what happened. So now I'm going to go back down the daily charts here, and I haven't talked about this yet, but indicators weren't needed yet. Just price action showed us that this was likely to slow down. All of this up and up and up with no retraces. These are naked upward candles with no retrace. It's not likely that that lasts forever. Right about the time when you start seeing everybody talk about how bullish they are and they start buying total shit constantly, they start out small, $20, $30, $100. Then they get a little stupider. Let me put 500 in this. Then they get really stupid. And if you're upset that I'm saying that, that's you. Your fault. You start putting thousands of dollars into absolute shit. And then you get upset when it doesn't do what you thought it should. That's about the time when I look at things and go, yeah, things are getting out of hand. It's probably time to slow down. That happened a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, right? So I was like, all right, we're getting to that point where everyone's starting to realize I fucked up. This is stupid and I shouldn't do it. But people do it anyway. People do it anyway. So that's about the point where I should have realized it and had a rationale with myself when, hey, man, this is a little bit too much, a little bit too far. I think it's time to pump the brakes. So we've clearly started a pullback. Let's put up some indicators now for the first time. All right, here you go. Here's the moving averages. This is the 50-day, 100-day, and 200-day moving averages. Yellow, blue, red, 50, 100, 200. All right, the very basic indicator. We use this 50-day moving average as a simple filter, as a simple buy-sell filter. Underneath the 50-day moving average, typically you take some profits or sell. Above the 50-day moving average, you ride it out or buy. As you see, way back here in October, we broke the 50-day moving average, and we just recently sold. We went under the 50-day moving average. If you use nothing but this, you did fairly well, 50%. Not bad. Pretty darn good, right? I was in this most of the way up. Various different assets, Bitcoin, Ethereum, tons of different altcoins, played it that way because I want to diversify and be careful just in case something went wild. A few did. All right. So now what? We've fallen under the 50-day moving average. Now we know there's a retrace coming, and this is where a Fibonacci retracement comes in the best. All right. So I'll take that recent move that we've just had. We've fallen under the 50-day moving average. We see down here that we have our 50 fib, which is at 1.5 trillion. That's that $250 billion sell-off that I talked about, right? From this spot to that spot is $250 billion already happening, in case you didn't get that. That's going to happen. All right, that's first. This is first. 1.5 trillion is first. Then we reassess. Let's pull a Fibonacci retracement on this. We see that this 100-day moving average is slowly creeping up here. We see that we're slowly working our way down here. Hey, everyone, that's called confluence. When you see something coming and you can tell it's going to happen, that's confluence. You have multiple points of interest right here at 1.5 trillion. You have the 100-day moving average moving up. You have price moving down towards it. Throw in something else. Ichimoku cloud. If that breaches the Ichimoku cloud and falls inside of it, that's going to run to 1.5 trillion. As you see, it's still above it technically. So actually, as far as the Ichimoku cloud goes, she's still 4 out of 4 green, even though it fell under the 50-day moving average, right? So Ichimoku cloud lags. Let's remember that it goes last. Now, Fibonacci retracement, I'll grab the bottom and I'll pull up to the top. As you see, it's a little bit subjective on whether or not we failed the trend, but it does look like we fell in the trend to me. So now we're retracing. Where we're retracing to first, 1.5 trillion to 1.45 trillion, right here at the 382 fib and the big overall 50 fib, just make total sense to me. It seems as though that's lined out to happen. All right. That's first. We'll have a video on this next live stream that I haven't finished talking about yet, but we can see this cyclically all playing out, and I'll go into it just a little bit here in a moment. So first, 382 retrace. After that, what's next? If that fails, a 50 retrace. Now, this should be done by mid-February. Interestingly enough, we found that if you look back in history, from now until March, typically we have a retrace, and I'll show you that in a moment. Let me flip to linear mode first, just for the example here. Interestingly enough, if you flip to linear mode, you get some good data. And this is why I say it's important not to totally ignore linear mode, and it does have some weight. Here's why. If you're in linear mode, this is clearly a downtrend now. And now that it's in a downtrend, it won't be easy to break. This will take some time to pan out and play out. 382 first, 1.5 trillion. Next, 1.41 trillion. All the way down to the golden pocket down here, which makes sense. I just showed you the golden pocket on the top. Now I'm showing you the shorter term golden pocket going back down, which is $1.25 trillion. Oh, by the way, that happened to line up with the log mode weekly 382 line at 1.25. This now becomes an area of importance. This green box right here becomes an area of importance. We can see it coming. We can see it playing out. Now we have to plan for it. And I know that sucks. Good news, everybody. We do this thing called taking profits. Let me go through this real quick. My 4 rules to investing. All right. It's very important. 4 rules to investing, not life, to investing. Rule number 1. Rule number 1, no emotions allowed. None of these assets care about you. None of these assets love you like you may love them. None of them are beloved. None of them are special. None of them are your sweet girl. None of them are your favorite guy. None of them care about you. The CEOs are the number 1 salesman of that company. It is their job to get you to buy it. That's it. It is a business to them. While it may be personal to them, it cannot be personal to you. It must be bought and sold. I know what you're going to say. Oh, Keith, that's not how Warren Buffett does it. That's not how investment firms do it. You're giving them an endless supply of money every week. They're always going to keep buying. Have you not figured that out yet? As long as you give them money, they will keep buying, and eventually they will flip back into the green. Of course it's going to work out right for them because you keep giving them capital to buy with. Rule number 1, no emotions. Rule number 2, have a plan. What is your plan before you ever buy this asset? What are you buying it for? How long are you going to hang on to it? Is the risk worth the reward? Are you going to sell it? When are you going to sell it? Why are you going to sell it? All this should be thought about before you invest a single dollar. For me, it goes pretty rapidly because I do this for a living. For you, it may not. So this is why I say don't get into 1,000 different things. Pick 5 and break them down and see if they're worth it or not to you. All right. Rule number 3, what's your backup plan? What are you doing just in case? Do you have some spare stable coins? Do you have a plan to back out? Do you have a stop loss? What if things hit the fan and shit hits the fan? What are you going to do? You're just going to hang on for dear life? Hate to break it to you, buddy, but there's nobody there to reach down and grab your hand and pull you up. It's your money. You chose to do this. You're going to lose unless you have a backup plan. And my favorite rule, rule number 4, this is the rules that I live by. Take your profits. If you don't take your profits, I will be that asshole that takes them for you, and you get none. I don't want it to be that way. I want you to get profits with me. I want us to get profits. I want us to get paid. I'm on your team. All right? I want us to win together. Can't do that unless you learn how to take profits. You don't take profits, me or someone like me will take them for you, and you don't get shit. Remember that. I'm on your team. I'm not fighting against you. I'm fighting with you, for you. If you don't hear it from me, you're going to learn it the hard way. When you see that balance go down, you don't get jack shit, okay? It matters to me. I want to win with you guys. I don't want to win against you. All right. Now, let's go say hey to everybody, shall we? Sorry. All right. Bullish CEO, good to see you, brother. What's up? Danny Deep Pockets, Carney, good to see you. Ron Poteet, Vintage Pennies, good to see you, brother. Ron Poteet said, may have to watch the replay. Might be asleep in a bit. I get it. What's up, Gaffer? Good to see you. Jill Sandwich, Sparks Flames, good to see you, ma'am. South Africa represent. Big Dex, Tonsillitis Gang Gang. That sucks. Mark, what's up? Lunatic Prophet, good to see you, brother. Jeremy D, what's up? Bill Childers, good to see you. Slut Rooster, that's an excellent name, bro. Slutty Roo is even better. Tex, what's up? Frompo, Jeremy Monroe. Ariana, hello, ma'am. Kelly, Slade, Costa Rica. Good to see you, ma'am. How are you? Just got out of work. 95% profits taken this morning. Yo. Whoo, let's go, dude. Danny Deep Pockets again. When Mullet says, what up, XR peeps? Yeah, we'll talk about XR peeps in a moment. Good to see you. My Sugar. Oh, goodness, I forgot I had this open. Scared me. Drill, what's up, brother? Colo, good to see you, ma'am. Tom Pazderka, what's up? Charts Can't Lie, good to see you. Glad we sold the news. Bro, exactly. Crypto Elephant, what's up? Let's see. Distinctive Shine, good to see you. Mark Estrada, take your profits. You're damn right, bro. I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. First time I've been able to watch in months. Good to see you, Justin Powers. I changed my name, the artist formerly known as Mr. XR Femi. Blitz, what's up? Good to see you. Raging Beagle, good to see you, Mark. Half a damn trilly, bro. It's scary, isn't it? Chad, what's up, Canada Chad? Good to see you, brother. Don, what's up, Don? Sanzar, good to see you. He said, so what if you got caught out and still in? Just hold through the correction. That's totally up to you. You need to figure out whether it's worth it to you to lose more, how much you're willing to lose, and how much that's going to sting if you do lose. Do you have enough to buy more with? What's your plan to buy it? Where are you buying it? Why are you buying it? All this goes into why. Okay? This is the difference between shitty investors and good investors. That's the difference, the time you put in. All right? Golden Tall Man, Geek with a Gun, good to see you guys. De La Croix, good to see you. De La Roy. Quigs the Vicious, Dreamer, Crypto Moon Boy. You got to change that name, bro. Good to see you. All right, so 77 people on, 40 people have hit like. Y'all go hit like, then we'll get to 100, all right? But we got to have likes first. It's free to hit like. It costs nothing. All right, let's flip over to Bitcoin now because we talked about total market cap. I'm going to start with CME, all right? I've been recording little bits of this all throughout. CME chart. I've got fibs pulled up here on it. I also have big fibs and fib time zones and everything on this, and I don't want to erase it because it's important to me. So I'm going to hang on to it, and I want you guys to fight through me with all the lines here on the chart. Just disregard most of them unless I say they're important, all right? Here's our top. Here's our retrace from the bottom. I'm going to flip this over to linear mode for a moment. I'm on a daily chart. Same story I said a moment ago with how linear mode can have some weight here, and we can't totally disregard linear mode. Again, it appears that we've failed trend. And now that we've failed trend, whether I put it here or I line it up back here, none the same. It's all failed trend. Now, we have a CME gap right here where the chart opened and closed over the weekend and left a gap in the chart. Typically, these gaps close about 80+% of the time. Not always, all right? We have a CME gap right here that has not closed yet. As you see, price is rapidly approaching it. I don't think it breaks it just yet. I think we're likely to get a little bit of back and forth here first. And then at some point like that, we come down what looks to be around the last week in January, which is coming up. So a few more days, perhaps the end of the month before we see a rapid move down to correct that CME gap, close it, and finish up that gap movement. Now, I have this green thing drawn right here because I thought this might play out. I drew this a few days ago, and it's actually playing out, which is amazing. I'm going to move it over because we had another CME gap here, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. This was a gap from the weekend, right? You had a rapid movement over the weekend, and rather quickly, this thing went right back up, closed that gap. We were all over this. We watched this happen within 15 minutes of this gap closing. We were watching this, betting against it. Okay? How do I know that? Because I had a Forex trade running on Bitcoin, and it actually worked, all right? I pulled this. It was a little scary because it went a little farther than I thought it would. But it closed the gap and immediately dropped down and started coming back. Excellent. This shows us a couple things. Number one, it shows us a high and a low and a lower high and a lower low. And that is a downtrend. And even if it's on 4 hour like I am right now, nonetheless, downtrend. If I pull up some moving averages here, hey, look, we're under every single moving average on the 4 hour. We got a bunch of tits crosses coming right here. We're likely to get a little bit of upward price action back toward 42,000 before we get more down. That's another lower high. And I think that'll probably come in at the beginning of the last week of January toward the end of the month. And then we roll back over and we play dead one more again. All right, I think we run down until a certain area, which I will get to in a moment. First, let's look at the CME numbers here in linear mode. So at the 618 golden pocket down here, see that? I just moved it right there, the 618. That's roughly 35,700, 35,500, right? Roughly 35.5. Right through here is where this chart is aiming toward, where that 100-day moving average is slowly creeping up. If it breaks that, you have another buy opportunity down here at 786, which is possible at 30,000. So if you're wondering what my plan is here, I'm going to watch very closely at 38,000. It's likely that we hold up there. If it does not hold up there and break south, hey, guess what? We're heading toward this golden pocket, or we're heading to Sniper's Alley, one of these two. So I may split my buys a bit and do what I did when I bought the bottom this time. I'm going to maybe buy here, buy here, buy here. These three spots are it, in my opinion. I think, after talking to the admins and mods, this is likely where we're to hang up at. And let me show you this on a regular Bitcoin chart, which is here. I have them highlighted as buy zones. Take your pick, right? Why did I do this? Well, let me move these moving averages out of the way. If we go back in history a little bit, I'm going to put this back in log mode. Here is our resistance that we pushed through right over here. As you see, we worked our way through it. Now that we've worked our way through it, we want to flip that into support. In order for us to flip that into support, we need to come back down and retest it. If we retest it, what are those numbers? Well, here's the first one I talked about up here, roughly 40,000. All right, that's where that 100 moving average is kind of creeping up towards on a regular Bitcoin chart, right? 382 is under that at 38.7, 38.5, call it roughly. Then that same support that we want to retest back here is all the way down here at 37.5. 37.5 seems like a key area. If we don't hold 37.5, hey, look down here, this 200 moving average is creeping up here toward 33.5. As you see, I've highlighted all these areas as buy opportunities. Any one of these four are lower than we were. So any one of these four are a discount. I'm going to aim for these bottom three right here. If I don't hit the bottom one, that's fine. I'll take the middle two. Good enough for me. I'm getting a discount no matter what. All right. Why do I have this vertical box drawn right here? Well, this is where it gets interesting. All right. So I'm buying in this green box early to mid-March, right? Let's go in on that. Real quick. What's up, Big Fish? Good to see you. Made some big profits today, sitting in tight while, oh, that's excellent. Geek with a gun. Let's go. Paulo, what's up? Good to see you. Apolara, good to see you. 72 people on, 49 people have hit like. That means like a couple of you guys can hit like. I suck at math. So I haven't shown this everywhere. I'm going to show it now. First, let's look at Bitcoin Kraken. I've got an entire map here of how things are likely to go, mapped out over a long period of time. I'm not going to go hardcore into this until next live stream. 2016, roughly middle of January, early January, we found our top right here and rolled over and went down between 38 and 50%, depending on the chart you look at. That was pre-halving that we found our local low, the recent last low before halving. All right. That happened to be about roughly month and a half. Okay. Let's go to 2020. All right. This one was right about Valentine's Day or beginning of February, a month after the last one. But again, right before halving, about a month and a half, 2 months before halving. All right. Here we are, same spot, middle of January. We are about 3 months until halving. So it's likely that we're going to get some down in here for the next little bit until we decrease our time toward halving and we find our local low. It is up to us to find our local low. And that's why I'm talking about the numbers I'm talking about, because we may not get some big pandemic fall like we had in 2020. We may not get that little tiny fall that we had in 2016. I honestly think we're going to get a blend of both of them. And I believe we come down in here somewhere and find our local low. And then we never look back from there. Okay. I don't think there's a whole bunch of down after that. I have this whole thing mapped out. This is in our Discord for everyone to see. As you see, it's very, very accurate, down to a week and a half worth of accuracy. That's better than 99% of people will tell you, and that's all there is to it. I'm not just showing you some halving lines and how everything goes up. I've got multiple points and waypoints marked out here for you, and this is based on math and timing, not based on what I hope or wish. All right? Very important that you understand that. It's not a game. This is dead ass serious to me. This is what I do for a living, all right? So, kind of why I went ahead and sold a bunch of stuff off. Not everything, but a bunch of stuff off. I wanted to take profits to lock in what I've got so that after we get this pullback, I can rebuy lower and have even more than I started with. I talked to a couple people recently this week. Blew my mind, right? But they told me, it was like, hey man, look, I didn't expect to have this much money going into a bull market. This is awesome. Now I've got more than I thought I would, and I'm able to do different things. And I was like, that's exactly what I wanted to hear, brother. You have locked in profits, you've increased position sizes, and you've made yourself into a better situation. Think about how much that's going to matter at the end of this. Because when this happens, and it's September, October, November of 2025, we're going to talk about selling a bunch of this shit off and leaving it for dead. All right? A lot of this shit ain't going to last after that. I'm going to be taking profits, and I want y'all to remember that, all right? I want you to remember he's going to take profits, and he doesn't care. Just like I told you on this live stream, I took profits. Sorry, not sorry, but I'm going to do it. I've got to sell off, and I've got to get paid, and that's all there is to it. If you don't do that, I'm sorry, folks, but it's a long road to hoe with no money in the bank, all right? Just the way it is. I've got Ethereum pulled up here. All right, so similar story on Ethereum. not quite as high up. As you see, Bitcoin actually got all the way up to the 61871. I'm sorry, the 68 and the 71 fib, and Ethereum fell short. Nonetheless, still hit that same golden pocket that Bitcoin did. Had the same pullback. I actually caught this one really high up. I managed to sell both of these right near the top. Now, I still have a little bit of Ethereum. I didn't sell it all off just in case I'm wrong here and in case things want to reverse up and go up. That way, I don't have all the skin out of the game. I've still got some in, right? I left some in. I got most profits out, though. So this is still well over the 50-day moving average. You see what I'm saying? That's why I didn't sell it all. Ethereum's in a little bit better spot than Bitcoin is at the moment because Bitcoin kind of ran first, and then you see Ethereum following it, and then you see an altcoins follow it. You have still altcoins here. They're still jumping up and doing 5, 6, 8, 10%, right? And you're seeing some of that bleed off from bigger caps go into lower caps just a little bit, and then they kind of suffer later. But I can't convince people of that. They're just going to keep blowing money, and I can't do anything about that. People are buying the top right now and talking about how bullish they are at the top. That should tell you something, especially big influencers, especially influencers that don't know what they're doing. You can infer whoever you want to out of that. All the big influencers don't really like me. Some of them don't know who I am, and that's cool. But the ones who do have already blocked me. It's not just because I'm an asshole, because I know I can be that way. It's because they didn't want to hear what I had to say because it interfered with what they had to say. And if that's the case, that means you don't want to hear anything besides what you're saying. And that's what we call an echo chamber. And I don't want to be involved in echo chambers. I'm too busy trying to keep it real with y'all. So, Ethereum back to support makes sense here at 2387. However, let's do the same analysis that we did on Bitcoin with Ethereum, all right? Let's start with Ethereum CME. Bitcoin and Ethereum are the only two coins that are traded on the CME market. Since Bitcoin and Ethereum are the only two traded on the CME market, we should treat them just a touch differently than we treat the other ones. All right, Bitcoin's the king. Ethereum gets to be the queen or the princess, whatever. So local bottom, local top. Let's pull the fibs. And as you see, I flipped over to linear mode because I want to get this look first. These fibs end in April. Interesting. When's halving? April. All right, so these fibs end in April. Let's remember that. Now, we've already touched the 236 fib, which just so happens to be one of the bigger fibs up top. It looks like we want to slow down right here and catch its breath. I don't think we're going to see a big, massive, real hurry-up sell-off on Ethereum. It's probably going to be a slow bleed. But next in line areas after this support area, we're probably going to get a little bit of a bounce here, is this 50-day moving average at 2269. All right? 2275, call it somewhere around in there. Worst case Ontario here is Ethereum runs back down to this 100, 200 down here, which is roughly around $2,000. I don't know if we'll get $2,000 Ethereum. That's my ideal buy spot, which is down here at the golden pocket. Same thing as Bitcoin. Interesting, isn't it, how math works? Could this bleed off and run way down here? Sure. I doubt that happens. In the event of a pandemic or whatever, that could happen, sure. And I would be ecstatic to unload my $80,000 or whatever of stable coins that I have down here. I would be ecstatic to unload them down there. You are not scaring me off in the beginning of a bull market. You're only giving me better buy opportunities. All right. I don't think that happens, but just in case, there's your numbers, right? 1,000 and 750-ish. All right. 760. 1,000 and 760 of shit got absolutely hit the fan horrible. I don't think that happens, but it's possible, right? Worst case Ontario kind of stuff. And if you don't know what worst case Ontario is, I suggest you watch Trailer Park Boys. Amazing show. It's some of the more realistic trailer park shows you'll ever see. That 8 Mile. 8 Mile's pretty close. Yeah, 2275 is probably our next likely candidate. From there, we'll bleed off a little more, probably 2125. And then we'll see if we can hit this 2000 area. We may stop at the 50 fib. One of these two spots are my likely candidates for reentry. I plan on buying Ethereum, then lending it, and then borrowing against it, and then buying more altcoins with it. I want to double or triple up here. I'm going to take advantage of this the best I can. This is the moment that I was waiting for, right? This pullback and chance to rebuy is exactly what I wanted. I'm going to make the most of it. I think that's what happens, and that's CME chart, right? If I flip over to the regular Ethereum chart, it's a little different, but similar, all right? Same kind of strategy here, right? As you see, I've already got the boxes highlighted here. This 50 fib at around 21.25, same kind of numbers as CME. And you'll see that this 200 moving average is slowly creeping up right here, right toward the golden pocket number at 1979 or roughly 2000. This is why I think this is important, okay? You'll see that this 50 moving average is up here about 23.20. It's going to creep up little by little. And all this right through here, this 2400, 2430, all this is going to be stubborn. I don't think this immediately fails. This is why I think we'll get a little bit of up and down, a little bit of chop here for a bit while things settle out and think about it. It just makes sense. All right. And in linear mode, it's not much different. Big fib lines here kind of tell the story. This is our big weekly fibs. All right. And as you see, that 50 fib box right there is highlighted at 2068. Anywhere between 2000 to 2150 just makes sense. Anywhere through there just makes sense. That would be the 200 moving average. That would be it testing the 200. I don't think it goes springboard flying off the 200. It'll probably get stuck to it. Remember that 200 daily moving average kind of acts like a big magnet. All right. I need to take a break and drink some water. 100 people are watching, bro. Cheers, everybody. 100 people are watching. 58 people have hit like. Go hit like, dude. I told you what would happen if we had a few more likes. We get to 100, and there we are. Let's have a drink based on the 100 people in here. You can go hit like. What are we drinking, Jeremy Monroe? What are we drinking? Jeremy Monroe, tell me what we're drinking. I'm going to pull out the Larceny over here because I can see the bottle. But I also have my cream stuff, but it's way over there on top of the safe. I don't know if I want to go all the way over there. I got to redo this office, dude. It's a mess in here, bro. But I've got so much shit to do. I think you guys think that I just sit in here and do nothing sometimes. Bro, it is so much hardcore than that. Today, the woman got sick, came home from work, which she never does. She never misses a day of work. It's weird, right? She came home 8:30 talking about, hey, I'm sick. I'm like, holy shit. And she hadn't got out of bed. She's been in bed all day. I've been responsible for these little asshole kids all day. Plus talking to y'all guys, plus taking profits, plus making videos in the background for some other stuff. It's been wild. Let's see. Bourbon, Jeremy Monroe says. Oh, of course. Let's have some Larceny. Let me get a glass out. Then we'll have a little toast and we'll get back to the chart. And we shall. My cousin got me something called whiskey bullets. These are freezable bullets that you put inside of whiskey glasses to keep your whiskey cold. Let's go. Thank you, cousin Jeremy. Let's have a little drinker poo here. All right, cheers, everybody. I appreciate everybody being on this tour with me. Touch the camera. Cheers, everybody. Ooh, whiskey. Yes. Good stuff. All right. Let's go see what you guys are saying, and then we'll get back into the charts here. Big Fish, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Centalone, good to see you. Mo Crypto, gosh darn it, Keith, I can't wait to buy more. Exactly, dude. I'm kind of excited. I know these pullbacks scare people because a lot of you guys are scared to sell. All of my trades are posted for everyone to see over in our Discord. What is our Discord? Right there it is, wap.com/team786. You get 30 days for free. Free. All you got to do is show up and sign up. 30-day trial. If you don't like it, you don't have to pay. Off you go, and you get back to the regular general chat, which is free. But wap.com/team786. It's very easy to do, very simple to do. The link is in the description of this as well. Come hang out and shop it up with us, dude. We do this all day long, 24/7, 365. I'm not joking. There's literally always someone in there talking TA, talking charts. Always. You might go 10, 15 minutes without seeing somebody type something, but that's the max. It goes nonstop. And anyone who's in the thing will tell you, dude, it's wild. It never stops. We recently added more channels, specific TA channels for specific top 25 coins. So you can go in there and just see those if you want. It's kind of up to you. Let's see. Let's see. Where is the chart in the Discord? In unlimited chats, in the unlimited chat, plus in the crypto charts only chat, plus we have all those brand new sections we just added. That's in the announcement section. I believe I put that. Titty Cross at 786 for all three, basically. Absolutely, Dex. Dang, I would love an $800 Ethereum. I don't know if we get that. Like I said, that's worst case Ontario, and I don't like coming on here doing that bullshit. That realistically speaking, is probably not going to happen. Just saying it's possible. Yeah. Justin Wynn says, "What the fuck? I thought you were growing a beard. Where are you going to store your whiskey?" Well, interestingly enough, some stuff happened over the last couple of days, week, right? And I decided I wanted a fresh start. Plus, we're selling off. Is it really a bull market if we're selling off? Right. So I decided to trim it out, keep it clean for a little bit. Also, I think the woman was getting irritated. And let's be real, everybody. Happy wife, happy life. So I had to pull back on it. It'll grow back, dude. I'm fucking over 40 years old. It grows back really fast. It sucks. Centalone, drinking to the level heads. Boat loads of money. Let's go, dude. One more. Hit my lip. Louis, thank you, brother. I hear bourbon makes you do better tea. You're not even joking, dude. Once I start drinking and I get a little drunk, I don't overthink shit. I just do it. And usually it turns out better, believe it or not. Denny Deep Pockets, thank you, brother. Creates chart confluence. That's exactly right. Good job, dude. I totally dig how dorky you are. Hey, bro, thank you. I'm just a dude. I'm nobody special. I wish I had some kind of magic formula, but I don't. It's just straight up charts. I'm coming from a no bullshit world. I don't have time for it. I just don't. In the investment world, for my piece of the pie, it just don't have time for bullshit. It just don't. No one cares. No one cares about my bullshit. For what it's worth, no one cares about your bullshit. How much money can we make together? We can make more together than we do separately. If that's the case, well, then why aren't we doing it? Right? And that's the whole reason why we're here. Several years ago, I got told by someone, there's only one captain on this boat, Keith. One quarterback on this team, and that's me, not you. So just be quiet. And that's how I got to where I am. Someone telling me that I had to be quiet because, what I said didn't line up with what they said. And since they were in charge, I should just shut up. Remember that. It's not that I'm spiteful or anything like that, because that sent me in a trajectory to do better. And since then, done nothing but make money, which is awesome. And then I saved a bunch of money. Right? And then now we're making a bunch of money. And come 2025, we're going to save a bunch of money. I've got everyone's favorite terrible crypto on the chart, XRP. I rarely talk about this one because it just gets people pissed off. So let's keep it real here. We knew this was coming. We knew XRP was not just going to go launching any good moment. We knew it was not just going to fly up any good moment. I had someone send me a video of someone saying, I don't see any reason why this thing doesn't just launch. I can. It's called That's Not What Happens. All right. So you really have to have a bull market for altcoins to run. Whenever this whole SEC thing happened with XRP, you got this big candle up, which is immediately triggered a sell-off. Welcome to the real world, folks. Now it's going to get treated like a regular old asset. All right. I think it's only a matter of time before there's an ETF for this as well, or this gets bundled up with some kind of index fund. It's only a matter of time. So right now we've got this big breakout on the overall trend, as you see right there. And we had a shot up, but now we're just kind of tracking sideways and making a bit of a fallen wedge on top of the trend line. Now, if you remember back historically for XRP, whenever we track backwards on top of a trend line and make a falling wedge, that's usually good. All we need is a breakout of this line. When that line breaks, which is likely to be later, probably in March or April, when this line breaks, it's go time. I think it's likely going to be right about where I bought right there to begin with, which is a support line right here. That's why I bought that line, because it was support. I think that's probably where we're going to come in. Now, obviously, I could be wrong and it could go lower than that. Luckily, that's what we have charts for. Let's do some measuring here and see what we come up with, okay? So I don't know which wick to grab here. They're all a little funky. So I'm going to stick with this local one. I'm going to pull this to the top right here, and I'm going to follow the trend. And if I do so, you'll see that 786.886 is right about 48 cents. All right, 48 to 50 cents. Kind of makes sense to me. It's a nice round number. It's also 75% less than the all-time than the last high that it hit, which was $1.98 or roughly $2. That's 75% off of that, which makes sense, right? 75 to 78%, 786 assassins, 78%. Get it? That makes sense. Now, obviously, it could come down here and sweep this low, which would be about 45 cents. So, my conclusion here is these numbers make sense, right? 786.886 at 50 to 45 cents makes sense. Worst case Ontario here, XRP bleeds off and comes all the way back down here to 40 to 35 cents. Either way, not a terrible number in comparison to where it is now, right? Right now it's 54 cents. It's going to go down to 40. Is that so horrible? I don't really think so. So I don't think we're going to get those big rash movements anymore here. I think we're going to get more structured movements. Let me go all the way back here a bit. Let me pull up. Let me see if I can find an XRP chart that doesn't have the big wicks. Let's see. XRP. And let's try, that was Bitstamp. What about Binance? Does it have the same thing? Yeah, look at that. I drew that range right there. Look, it gets stuck. Isn't that interesting? Same wicks, though. So let's pull this from the bottom all the way up here to the top like this. And this gives us a more broad range and shows us kind of what it'll do for the rest of the year. All right. So these are our low levels that we'll be looking for. 46 cents. We just talked about that, right? 52 cents, as you see, 52 to 50. We talked about that. That 46-cent level kind of screams at me. Worst case Ontario, though, 38 cents to 35 cents. I don't know if I think it'll get down that far. We'll see, one step at a time, right? I don't like to do crystal ball predictions, but this is clearly failed trend, and it's clearly coming back down to earth. So for what it's worth, we got to call a spade here and say she's likely to lose this range. I don't know how long it's going to take, but it's likely to lose this range. And if it does, first range 46 to 40. I think this is likely. 46 to 40 is more likely. And this down here is more of a long shot, 38 to 35. So let's keep those numbers in mind for XRP here. I mean, I'm planning on buying some. Yeah, I sold it off. Right there, you see my sell line. A red line right there says I sold. And you see I bought up here, and that was actually a negative trade. That was a loss. One of the few losses that I took this cycle was that one. But I did buy down here, right? I bought down here and I bought more up there, so I've ended up selling. I'm kind of probably about break even for what it's worth. So, I'll keep some eyes on this. I've already bought and sold it back here too. I'm just talking about recently, these buys and sales. I bought, what's that, 9/11? I bought on 9/11. Ugh, isn't that awful? Oh, I bought right there. How about that? I bought that bottom little wick. I literally bought the bottom. I think that's probably likely that it runs back to my original line here. And then we dance with the devil a little bit at that point. I don't really care what your favorite influencer thinks about that. I don't really care whether they say we're going to do this big lunar moon cycle. I don't really want to hear it. I don't own any XRP hats or any XRP clothes. You won't see XRP on any of my stuff. It's not how it works. It's just one of the top market cap coins, which is why you see it down in the corner over there. That's why you see it there. It's one of the top ones. Cardano, Ethereum, XRP, Chainlink, and Bitcoin. They're all kind of the top 10 ones, right? So obviously that's why I have them on there. I don't really want to hear the other bullshit. I really don't want to hear it. This is just another asset to me. Had it not been for this coin, though, I wouldn't be here where I am. The failures of this coin taught me a ton of lessons, and it taught me to own my mistakes. Yeah. And since then, my discipline got a lot better from failing by buying and selling this. I do not think that this is at all a long-term hold like any crypto. What do I mean by a long-term hold? If you're treating XRP like a stock, you're doing it wrong. It is not a stock. I promise you, when Ripple is ready, they will release Ripple IPO for Ripple shares. That is a stock. This is a cryptocurrency. This is not a stock. Stop. I know you want it to happen, but nobody cares, especially Ripple. They only want your money. So that's how I feel about that. Let me see what you guys are saying. Jeremy said, Keith, I care about your bullshit. That's pretty good, dude. Why is your voice so low when you're doing live? I don't know. It's not. I've got the volume turned up pretty high over here. I can see the little meter jumping, and it's pegging out to the yellow and to the red when I talk. Not sure. I'd appreciate the 40s. Yeah, there you go, Justin. See, I think we're gonna. I think we dance with the 40s. I think we dance with the 40s. From $40 to $2. It's pretty damn good, right? Is it like life-changing money? No, it's pretty good though. It's pretty good though. Voice level is good. There you go. Are you going to sell Gala and then try to rebuy lower? No, you know what? I don't think I am. We've been talking about Gala, right? I was up about 100% on my node rewards. I don't know. In order for me to do these node rewards, I have to send Ethereum to Gala, then I have to claim, then I have to move it. And I just don't know if I want to do all that. When I said I wouldn't. I hate to go back on my word. Yeah, so this is probably coming back. I don't know if it's got enough meat on the bone for me to worry about it. If this comes back down here to 618, that is 20%. I don't know, man. Damn. That's tough, right? It just broke out. Just broke out. I don't even think that broke the 236, did it? I don't think it did. Let me pull some fibs here and dance with it. From the top to the bottom, that was our downtrend. 236 slap, yeah. So we did 236 slaps, and now we're probably going to roll back to the 618 or the 786. How much is that? 618, 786 is roughly 1.5 to 2 cents, and we're at about 2.5. Ugh. Can we go that far down? No, not yet. It's still above the 200 moving average. I can't do that until it fails the 200. Even if it fails a little bit more right now, I'm still feeling all right about it. I don't want to fool with that until it breaks the 200. If it breaks the 200, well, then we're talking, right? We're talking differently if it does that. I'm gonna try to leave this one alone. I've done really well on Gala, and I hate to like poke the bull. You know what I mean? I hate to be super greedy. Let's see. Will you spend more than 20% ETH fees? You know what? I don't know, dude. ETH fees are stupid high right now. So probably. I don't know if I want to fool with that. Let's have another drink. I got 5 more minutes. Let's go. Let's go. Whiskey. So let's have a dance with a couple others here. Let's look at the dollar index. This is interesting. Recently, the dollar index has had a bit of a rebound. How big of a rebound? Well, if I pull the moving averages up, you'll see this bitch jumped all the way up over the 50 and ran into the 200. I honestly expected a 50 EMA failure here. So I pulled some fibs on it. And I said, I wonder how far this heifer can go. She's stuck under the 50 right now. But I think it's possible this thing jumps to 200 as long as it can hold 103 flat. If it holds 103 flat, I think it's possible that this thing rides the 50 and then jumps back up here and gives a test to the golden pocket. That's about 104. All right. If we get above that, it might be trouble. And why I say that is if we break this trend line, oh man, you're going to see alts and especially Bitcoin and especially alts really bleed off. Typically, this does the opposite of crypto. Not always, but typically. So as you see it's going up, crypto's coming down, right? As this is going down, crypto is going up. You get the point. If this cracks this trend line, that's when worst case Ontario happens. Okay? Let's keep an eye on this. This is very important. S&P 500. Your favorite influencer loves to act like that, they have all the answers and they know exactly what's going to happen and this big crash is coming. I hate people who talk bombastically. Yes, a big crash is coming. Oh, a big pump is coming. You sound like a fucking idiot. So stop. Can we not all talk realistically? Can we not be adults? Can we not be adults? All right, linear mode here. We broke through 786. We swept all-time high. We haven't broke it yet. We came close. I think it's likely we slow down a little bit here and come back to support. Where? Well, roughly, looks like about 450 to 475, and we're at 476 right now, so about 450 makes sense. Let's see if it can hang on the 450. If the S&P 500 hangs on the 450 and manages to idle over here until after the Fed starts cutting rates, watch out. Off she goes, all right? And I know that hurts people's feelings, but I don't care. It's an election year. Do you really think in an election year that they're going to have some big crash? Use your brain. Use your brain. All right. NASDAQ. Hey, looky there. All-time high. Now, obviously, I don't think this thing's going to run forever. It's likely to pull back here and test these highs again. As you see, she's just cracked through now. Only a matter of time once we get through this all-time high that it comes back and gives it a retest. All right. Yes, I know it broke all-time high and it's in price discovery, but please understand that nothing lasts forever. You pull a fib on this and look, you are right up against 1618 right now. All right. I'll zoom in there so you can see it. Right there you go. You're right up against it at 17,000. Right. So it's likely we get a pullback here. Where will that pullback happen to? Maybe 16.5. That makes sense. They can hold in these ranges here, idle, and then push up again. It's only a matter of time. Fed starts cutting rates. Why is that important? When the Fed starts cutting rates, more money comes out of bonds and into risk assets. What are risk assets? Risk assets are anything that could go down rapidly. A stock, an equity, a mutual fund, an ETF, an index fund, a crypto. All of those could be affected when bonds start selling off. What do those look like? Let's pull up. I erased my damn bonds. Here's 1 year. Here's 1 year bonds. Look at that. Look at that thing roll over and starting to play dead, just like it rolled over and played dead back here. And just like in history, it's done before. It's likely that this thing makes a head and shoulders and peels back all the way till later in 2025. All right. From there, I expect bonds to come back. I just expect them to come back. Right. Look how far up they ran. Look at all of that bond yield come up. Those are 1 year bonds. So you get your money back plus interest after a year. All right. How about 5 year bonds? These are kind of inverse of crypto, by the way. And looky there. 5 year bonds are rolling over a little bit. Interesting, huh? Kind of told you this was going to happen. Little by little, money's coming out of bonds and into risk. Little by little. It's not a big move yet because, people are playing it safe. It's not just going to happen overnight. You're talking about trillions of dollars here that's got to move around. They don't just hit one button and move 7 trillion unless it's going to a war. And last one, US 10. There you go. US 10-year bonds. Looky there, everybody. It appears as though we've broken trend. What does that mean? All right. I'll leave you to that. Thank you all for being here. It was an awesome hour, dude. We had over 100 people again. That's second stream in a row. It's important to me. Why? Well, it shows me how far we've came. All right. When we first started this, dude, 7 people. 7 people. 6 people would watch, max. And that tells you how far we've evolved. We're 90+% more people now, pre-bull market, than we were last time. If we keep this going, we'll help a ton of people. We'll help a ton of people. Thank you all for being here. You guys never understand how much it means to me. You think I'm just on here talking or whatever, and like I'm just some idiot on the internet. And while that's true, this shit matters to me a lot. I don't know, man. It's a big deal for me. It's a big deal for me. I want you to make the best of your todays, the worst of your tomorrows, okay? That's Jay-Z. And if I haven't told you before, you could have been anywhere in the world. You chose to be here with me. I appreciate that more than you'll ever realize. Thank you. That's Notorious B.I.G. Sky's the limit. Zoom after this for the subscribers. I'll see y'all next Tuesday. Tuesday over in the Discord. Private Zoom. Private live stream over in the Discord on Tuesday. Then live on Thursday here on YouTube again. Y'all be good. I'll see you then. Sky's the limit. Peace.